every one of us thinks that everything that we're going to do is going to be a super sensation. A lot of the times it's not. It's just us finding our ground, our feet, our path. Things are not quite as laid out as we imagine. However, sometimes they are. I had a thought last night that I should take much less action. No, I had a thought last night I should think less about things and take far more action. Now, I laugh about that because it's something that went through my mind quite a bit. And in fact, I thought, well, I thought instead of took action, but I was asleep, so it wasn't like I needed to take action. But I woke up with the same thought again this morning, much more action and less thinking. We think of thinking as a very important thing. Thinking is vital to us. Thinking is one of those things we have to do, because if we don't think about something properly, we probably land up in difficulties. And I agree. Thinking has extreme levels of value. There's just no way around thinking. However, the more I understand how things work, the more I realize that sometimes the very act of taking action is what actually works to our advantage and to our benefit. Just doing automatically opens up new ways of thinking about something while you're doing it. The reason a lot of people don't take action is because it immediately demands thought. It immediately demands resources that you didn't always know you needed. I find that happens all the time in the development of something. I embark upon a project, and halfway through the project I go, why did I get started on this? This is challenging. This is intense. I had no idea this was going to be happening. And I think most people are in that zone. When they start on a project, there's so much risk involved. There really is. There's so much that really preoccupies their mind, that they start to go, I wonder why I started to do this. I'm carrying all of the risk. I'm carrying all of the burden. I have no idea why I got started on this. And one of the reasons why we do it is because we really place ourselves outside. We really place ourselves outside our comfort zone. And when we're in that lack of comfort, when we're in that no comfort zone, something really unusual happens, right? We start to really think through things differently. The secret, of course, is once you're in the middle of an action, you should not question your actions so much that you stop your action. Your action is critical. It is vital. It has an extreme requirement, again, as I said, for more action instead of more thinking. So we really need to find ourselves working towards a state of taking more and more action, and more regularly, because then we become better suited for actions. Actions are a good thing. Actions speak louder than words. Actions show up the man. Actions show up the woman. Actions really indicate who we are. They really say, yep, this is the person. This is the metal. This is the mettle of the person. We are suddenly shown to be much more extraordinary than when we don't take action. So many people sit and think, and they're always thinking. They tread cautiously. They don't embark upon sporadic or wild change in their lives, and for that reason their partners walk with them around the river or the ocean and say, you need to be more radical, you need to show more radicalization in the way that you do things, because obviously whatever you're doing so far isn't working. So Anthony Robbins used to say, take action, live in action, live in that state of action all the time. I daily work towards doing things. I have this to-do list. My to-do list regularly changes, adapts, even during the day. I find my morning to-do list might not be my afternoon to-do list. I'm not sitting around doing to-do lists, but occasionally I go, okay, I've done that. That was important, but really the priority has changed. You know, there's been a new this or a new that. I really need to do this. This is really important. Or something comes up in a meeting and somebody says something and I think, you know, that actually makes more sense to do it that way. So my priority changes and a new action is affected with an A. So I now definitely focus on what actions I can take and how I can be most effective in taking those actions. One thing I'm still learning to master, and I think a lot of people have mastered this, I haven't, and it's sad because it's something I really need to sort of master, is the deadline. I tend to not have deadlines sometimes, which worries me a bit. You know, we need deadlines. I always think of a deadline as there's a date, it's self-imposed. I know that that date is fictitious. It's something I've said I'm going to do by the 4th or 15th of April or whatever. And then I go, well, okay, let's see how it goes, right? I'll pace myself to it, but, you know, if it doesn't happen on the 4th or the 15th, it doesn't really matter. I can just always change the date. The truth is that if you have a date, something amazing actually happens. You actually do focus. You hone in on that date. You start to really deliver. You know, you start to really go in the direction of delivery towards that date because you know that date is sitting there. A little bit like when you order and there's that little ticketing that happens at McDonald's. You know, the minute you order, a ticket is generated, and that ticket has got a time, and the clock is ticking, which means the burger gets made in as fast a period of time as possible because, you know, every second counts in fast food, fast being the operative word. So I've really got to sort of understand that my life has become about doing things as quickly as I can. You know, that is vital. It's very, very important. Every project that I undertake has got a timeline. It has a deadline. But sometimes I don't have deadlines, and those are the projects I worry the most about because it's almost as if, well, there's no deadline, there's no pressure, there's no concern, therefore there's no requirement to complete. But it's not like I don't need to complete it, it's just that, well, you know, it's definitely something that I skew away from because I know the pressure that's involved in the delivery of that project could be actually quite intense. So, I'm at a petrol station. I'm going to sign out, but just wanted to let you know that that's sort of what's on my mind this morning.